Hey, what's up guys? It's Saber again. I thought I would make another video, a follow-up to my previous PS Vita video that I made a couple months ago. And in this video, I'm just going to be answering a bunch of questions that a lot of people asked me in the comments in my last video. So even if you didn't watch the last video, if you have a question about how much a PS Vita, I should say, how much is a PS Vita, where to buy one, what's considered a good deal, maybe what color, or what accessories you should get for it, or even just games. I'm going to be recommending games at near the end of the video, but I'm going to be answering all of that. And the first question that I'm going to be answering is, how much was it? So I got my Vita, well, first I'll just bring this out. I got this Persona 4 Golden carrying case, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But I got my Vita for, I probably paid around $214, $215, and that was including tax, that was including shipping and handling. And where did I get it? I got my PS Vita, not in this case. The case, forget about this case. I only got the PS Vita by itself. Yeah, I also bought a memory card too. I got my Vita from PlayAsia.com. Now, I'm not sponsored. Obviously not. I have like 60 something subscribers, but I got my Vita from PlayAsia. I have my box over there somewhere in my room. It's in the corner of my room, but this is the Vita that I got. It's silver. I got it for $214, like I said, and I thought it was a good deal. Now, it did say, when I bought my Vita, it did say that it was part of like a spring sale that they were having. So I don't really know how much of a sale it was, because I still paid like, $200. But that's how much I paid. Now, do I recommend that you go out and shell out $200 for a Vita? Maybe not. Unless you're like really desperate for one. If you really want to get your hands on one of these, then yeah, I mean, if you have the money. If you don't buy it. If you do have the money, go for it. PlayAsia is where I got mine. But there are other websites where you can get some, such as Amazon or eBay. You can get them for pretty cheap there. People were leaving comments saying that they found them on Amazon for $170, $180 or whatever, on eBay, or websites like that. So just do some searching. It shouldn't be too hard to find them. They're not they're not super rare, so you can probably find them pretty easily if you just search hard enough, or maybe not at all for that matter. You can also, some people were also asking me, well, okay, well, what if I don't want to buy it online? Can I go to a store? Can I go to a Walmart and buy one? And unfortunately, no. You cannot, I mean, the chances of you finding a new PS Vita in the box at a Walmart, at a Target, at a, I don't know, a Best Buy, the chances of you finding a Vita at one of those stores is pretty low, I'm sorry to say. The PS Vita has, unfortunately, for lack of a better term, has been discontinued from those stores, so you will no longer be able to find a PS Vita in a store like that. However, you can go to a GameStop. You can go to a GameStop and just get a Vita. Now, granted, they are used, some of them are refurbished, but you pay $160. The Vitas that are here at the GameStops where I live, in my area, they go for around $160, maybe $150, depending. And like I said, they are used or refurbished, but they are still in good condition. That you can ask the employees, like, hey, can I look at it? And if they're nice, they should say yes, because I mean, you're not going to buy a Vita that's like all scratched up or whatever. But yeah, now in terms of what is a good deal, I would say it depends on your budget. Me, I had a little bit of money to kind of spend. So I did kind of splurge on myself. I mean, it was my birthday gift to myself. My birthday was last month, but it was my birthday gift to myself. So I opted for a brand new PS Vita from PlayAsia. So I ended up paying $200, and then another, I want to say maybe $30 for a 32 gigabyte. No, wait, more than that. I paid like $60 for like a memory card. But I'll get to memory cards in a little bit. So yeah, I had the money to spend. But if you don't, I would say that a good deal for a PS Vita, even if it's not new, if it's used or if it's refurbished, a good deal in my opinion is a Vita with a charging cable, be it the original one. If it's the original one, perfect, you're solid. But if it's, just a, just a whatever micro USB adapter, then whatever, you know. I would say a good deal, in my opinion, is anywhere from 140 to 180. Anything past 180, you might as well just get it new. Because really, what are you paying the extra money for? For the box? You're paying $200 for a box and some pamphlets that you're not even going to read? I would say if you can find a Vita, oh man, screen's really dirty. If you can find a Vita anywhere from 140 to 180, used or refurbished or whatever, with a charging cable for 140 to 180, that's it, you're solid, you're set. That's one of the best deals ever. And especially if they throw in a memory card. Now, that's another point that I have to bring up, the memory cards. Memory cards for PS Vitas are super expensive. They're like crazy expensive. It's nuts, it's ridiculous. Now, on the subject of memory cards, people have asked me, okay, what size memory card do you recommend? On this Vita, I bought myself a 32 gigabyte SD card, and I ended up paying around $60 something, I think. I mean, that was months ago when I bought it. I bought the Vita, I bought all the accessories and stuff before I even bought the Vita, so we're talking like 4 months ago that I actually bought the memory card. So I paid $60 something for a 32 gigabyte SD card, micro SD card, and the problem is that they are not, you cannot just go to Best Buy and get a memory card. These are pretty much PS Vita exclusive. You cannot just get a random micro SD card and put it in here. I don't know what I forgot what the term is. I think I used it in my last video, but here you can see Sony, if it would focus. Focus, but you can read that, right? Sony PS Vita 32 gigabyte. There we go. My ugly fingers. So yeah, these are they're locked, I should say. I don't know what the word is, but if somebody knows in the comments, please let everybody know. They are locked, you know, quote unquote, to the PS Vita. They are exclusive to the Vita, and you cannot use a micro SD card, unfortunately. So, people asked me, okay, well, what do you recommend for a size? How big of a SD card do I really need? And to answer your question, it depends. I recently, just last night, I think I answered somebody this question, and they said, okay, well, what do you recommend for a memory card? And I told them, okay, well, it depends. Are you going to play more physical? More like, here, I'll take one of my games out. Are you going to play more physical games, as in like with the cartridge? Or are you just going to play digitally? I'll have to check if he responded to me. But like I said, it depends. If you're really one of those people that likes collecting, you know, the cartridges, and you like having your box and your collection, then go for it. You really don't need that much space, and to you, I would recommend you an 8 gigabyte SD card. Why? Because one, PS Vita like save data really isn't all that big. So if you're only gonna be buying these, then you're solid. I mean, I would even suggest a 4 gigabyte if you really don't want to buy any digital games. But the 8 gigabyte is pretty cheap, and you still have enough room to download maybe a game or two to the system itself digitally. So you have a little bit of leeway. Now I'm looking it up on my phone as we speak, and an 8 gigabyte SD card for the PS Vita is going to run you about $20, maybe a little bit under. 17, 18. It's going to run you about 20 bucks for a 8 gigabyte SD card. And I say the 8 because, like I said, if you're only going to be buying physical copies, but maybe in the future, you know, you want to get, I don't know, let's say NBA, I don't know, 13 or whatever. You know, PS Vita games aren't really all that common to find anymore, so maybe you want to get the NBA 13 on your Vita, no matter what, and you might have to resort to buying it digitally. So at least with the 8 gigabyte, you will have enough room to download 1 or 2 games, if you so choose to, while still having enough room to, you know, for your save data and stuff. Alternatively, you can get a 16 gigabyte one. I see a couple here. Let me scroll up a tiny bit. There's one here for $36. I know that that's typically how much they go for. They go around 36, maybe 40. It really depends, unfortunately, on the seller. You know, if you find it on Amazon or from like PlayStation themselves, you know, Sony. So it's gonna depend on where you buy it. Here's another one, 32 gigabytes, $60. And that's pretty much how much I paid for mine. I have a 32 gigabyte one in here, I'm pretty sure, and I paid around $64 for it. So it's pretty crazy. And a 64 one, $90. $90 for a 64 gigabyte PS Vita card. So yeah, unfortunately the prices do get pretty crazy, but to recap, if you plan on buying only physical games, either get the 4 or the 8 gigabyte. Really, I would say that an 8, a lot of people say it, but I would say that the 8 gigabyte SD card is a really good place to start. If you're not sure how many games you're going to buy or your budget, the 8 gigabyte is a safe bet because you have enough room for your save data, you have enough room for a game or two to download in the future, and you know, you can always upgrade later on if you want. On the other hand though, if you're going to be buying both physical and digital games, I will boot up my Vita right now to show you guys. I would recommend going for the 32. Now me personally, like I said, I did have a little bit of money to splurge on for myself, so I opted for the 32 gigabyte one. And so, as you can see, I've, you know, since my last video, I have kind of done a lot of things differently. So I bought myself a nice theme, you know, Senran Kagura. I know, judge me. But yeah, I'll show you the games that I have. I bought a bunch of games, but I'll show you the digital games that I have right here. So yep, here you go. Now this is, like I said, 32 gigabyte inside of the Vita right now. So here we have Dissidia Duodecim, Final Fantasy 012, Yggdra Union, and these two are PSP games. BlazBlue Central Fiction Extend, X-Blaze Code Embryo, and Arcana Heart 3 Love Max, fighting game. So, I mean, as you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 games that I already have in here. And let me jump cut to how much space I have. So as you can see, I still have over 17 gigabytes left of memory out of 28. So, you know, pretty good if you ask me. And I didn't even mention, I should have mentioned that I also have some demos. I have Project Diva F and Project Diva X demo. So that's, I guess if you include those two, I mean, they're not even the full games, but 2 demos, 5 games, and then, you know, some other games that I have here physically. I haven't played all of my games yet, but, you know, that just goes to show you that I have 5 games already saved on here, and I still have plenty of space to do whatever the hell I want with. So, another question that I got asked a ton was, what color Vita should I get? Well, I'd say choose your favorite color, I guess. Now, it really, again, it's going to depend on, you know, what's available, but if you find your favorite color, then go for it. I went with the silver because I used to have a PSP, and the PSP was probably like my favorite handheld console of all time. I put so many hours into my original PSP. I still have it. It's in one of my drawers right in front of me. But, you know, for nostalgia, I just wanted to get the PS Vita in silver because I like to imagine that this is what my upgraded, you know, modern PSP would look like. So it's almost as if, you know, I've had this Vita for a long time, you know, like we grew up together and we've been through a lot, even though, you know, it's a completely different console. But that's me. I have my personal reasons. You know, there are lots of nice colors. You can find it in green, blue, red, orange. You know, but those colors, they're going to be a little bit harder to find. The most common colors that you're going to see are the silver, the black, and maybe like a red or a blue somewhere. For stuff like the green or the white with green or the white with blue, for those kind of extravagant colors, it's going to be a little bit harder to find them. Not impossible. You can still find them on Amazon and you know, eBay or PlayAsia or whatever, but they're going to be a little bit harder to find because, you know, more people like to get those colors. But not impossible. I guess it's also good to mention that the silver, you know, doesn't really show fingerprints all that much. I can, you know, rub my fingers and you can't really notice it all that much, except for the screen. But you know, being a touch screen and just a regular black screen, of course you're going to see a lot of smudges. So there's that, there's color. Now we get on to the good stuff. Finally, I'm really sorry that this took so long, but I really want to get as many questions out of the way. What accessories should you get with the Vita? That's a question that I get asked by a couple of my friends and even some people in the last video. As you saw it earlier, I bought myself a Persona 4 Golden carrying case, and you know, here it is. I got a super good deal on this. I thought it was a really good deal. I paid $10 for this. Whoops, sorry. I paid $10 for this. And look at it, it looks almost brand new. It's a little dirty from the back, but I got it at like it's called Book Off. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or if you have one where you live, but the store I bought it from is called Book Off. It's kind of like a manga slash gaming slash electronics kind of thrift store, except like 10 times cooler because they have a bunch of cool stuff in there. So I got it there for $10, really good condition. The inside, it had a couple of like cat hairs or something on the inside, but you know, it was clean. I just cleaned it out. I got like a little lint roller, cleaned it out. It's fine. It works totally fine. I can put my Vita in here and then just close it. And there we go. Now sadly it doesn't fit snugly in there. It can still shake. I'll try to shake it if you guys want to hear it. So unfortunately it is still going to shake in there a little bit. But the point, I feel that the point of this carrying case isn't really to like protect it from you playing with it like a frisbee, you know. You're not going to chuck this to your friend down the stairs like, here, catch this, you know, and then it falls. Will your Vita survive? Yeah, I'd say if you drop this, your Vita will survive. But I'd say that the point of a carrying case is just so that you're not carrying a Vita with you in your pocket, you know. This you can just put in your bag. You can take it to school with you, although you shouldn't play games in school, but hey, I'm not your teacher. You can take it to school with you, take it to your friend's house, to the beach, or whatever, wherever you're gonna go. Maybe not the beach. You probably might get sand in the insides of the Vita, but I don't know. Take it wherever you want. Put it in your I don't know, suitcase. Go to work with it. Now, what accessories should you get for the Vita? The case is obvious. You don't have to get a case, but if you get a good deal, like I said, $10 is that's how much I paid for mine. If you get a good deal, pick up a case. You know, it doesn't hurt to have one, so that you're not just carrying the Vita in your pocket. You know, you're not putting it in your back pocket and, you know, pushing in the buttons or the sticks with your, I don't know, pocket butt or whatever. But another accessory that I would recommend is extra chargers. Now these are super duper easy to get. As you can see, this is just, you know, a freaking phone charger, Samsung or whatever. But you know, as you can see, hopefully it will focus, but I'll talk while it focuses. This is just micro USB, and the cool thing about the PS Vita Slim, oh, I should have mentioned that. The PS Vita Slim does take micro USB charger. And I will show you right now that it does fit. So if you have an Android phone, you'll be fine. You probably have like 30 of these just lying around your house. You know, your mom, your dad, your cat, they all have phones. So you can just take their charger and charge your Vita whenever you want. Even when you're at a friend's house, you know. So there you go. Fits in there. I'm not lying to you. Now, as I was saying, this is the Slim model. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I'm really sorry. Hate me. But this is the PS Vita Slim model. What is the difference between the Slim and the Phat version, or the PS Vita, you know, default version? Well, not as much as you might think. Now, the big difference, the one that everybody always talks about, is the screen. Yes, the PS Vita original or Phat model does have a slightly better screen than the PS Vita Slim. The other one has an OLED screen, while the Slim has an LCD screen. So on the other screen you will be getting a little bit better color, I don't know, saturation, you know, brighter, did I just say brighter colors twice? Crisp colors, I don't know how to describe it. But it's not really that big of a difference, and if you're just playing games casually, you won't even notice. You know, I play games just fine on this, and I have fun with it. You know, I think it looks fine. I'll go into a game right now just to show you guys. But that's the big difference. Another big difference is the charger. Now the Slim does have a micro USB charger. So yeah, you can just use your phone charger or your Android charger and charge your Vita with it. Unfortunately, the Phat model does have its own proprietary, there we go, proprietary charger, so you will need to buy one of those if you plan on playing your Vita for a long time. And even if you don't, you should just have one just to charge it. But yeah, those are really the big differences. Everything else is pretty much the same. You know, this one has slightly different buttons down here. The PS button. The layout up here is slightly different. You have some LED lights up here for your battery and notifications or whatever. But everything else is pretty much the same. So, if you're wondering which one should I get, the Slim or the Phat, I'd say, again, depends on your money and which one you can find easiest. Maybe you found like 30 Slim models and only one Phat model, so I would say, you know, go for a Slim if you really want it. But it also depends. I picked this because, you know, of the charger, you know, and it was just more of a convenience to me. I like the slimmer body of the Vita. The other one was just a little bit too heavy for me, but this one fits pretty perfectly in my hands. You know, I can do whatever I want with it, and it's great. I love it. Now, finally, we're gonna wrap this up. It's been a really long video. I'm really sorry to drag on and on. I'll play something in the background while we're doing this. So, what games do I recommend? I'll do this really quickly. Number 1, bam, Persona 4 Golden. If you like any of the Persona games, this is a must. Hell, even if you've never played a Persona game, Persona 5 is freaking amazing. 10 out of 10. You heard it here first. Can't even speak. You heard it here first. BladeStormz Saber, he said, Persona 5 best game in the Persona series. Persona 5 was freaking amazing, and Persona 4, I've put maybe 10 hours into it so far, and it's great. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it so far. It's not as amazing as 5, obviously, but you know, with the less power, you're not going to get as many cool details as 5. But so far, it's been a really great game. If you're a fan of RPGs, or even if you just want to get an RPG, or you like visual novels, Persona 4 Golden, I definitely recommend it to you. Now, let me see if I can get into a battle here. I'll just go into, I don't know, versus mode. So, what else? Hybrid Dimension Neptunia Rebirth. This is one of my favorite games. It's also another RPG, but it has cute anime girls, and it's not just cute anime girls doing things for the sake of being cute. There's a story behind it. It has memes. It has references to a crap ton of other games, and you're gonna love it. If you have a witty sense of humor, if you like cute anime girls, if you like girls with ridiculously big, humongous swords, then you're gonna love it. I definitely recommend it to you. Now, who do I want to pick? I'll pick Makoto because she's wife. Bam. And random. Sure, why not? Let's fight Tsubaki. I feel bad for her. Random. Here we go. Now, final. Ultra Despair Girls. Danganronpa. Now, why do I recommend this game to you? Well, it's a shooting game. It's an over-the-shoulder, third-person shooter, but it's kind of interesting the way they do it. It's not your typical, you know, here are some zombies, fight stuff. I'm gonna have to pause this really quick. Sorry about that. It's not your typical shooter game. There is a story behind it, and you really don't, in my opinion, you don't really need to play the previous Danganronpa games to understand the story of this one. It kind of has its own little self-contained story, and for what it is, I really enjoyed it. I played it through. I finished it maybe a week ago or two, and I really liked it. It will last you a long time. Actually, all 3 of these games will last you a really long time. So I would say that with just these 3 games, you're set for at least 2 months, maybe 3. You know, you won't need to buy any more games because they're really long games. This one would probably be the shortest out of all of them in my opinion, but it has great replay value. You got a lot of upgrades for your weapons. The story is, I wouldn't say it's the best story ever, But for what it is, I enjoyed it. And I definitely recommend it to you if you're thinking about getting into Danganronpa. If you've heard about it before, you just didn't know what it was. This is a great little game to get into the series. And it has its own unique spin on what makes a Danganronpa game. Now, let's see if I remember how to play BlazBlue. Let's turn this up a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I really didn't mean on oh shit. I didn't really mean on dragging on for so long. But it's been a while since I made a video, and God, I suck. It's been a while since I made a video, and I really wanted to make something to remind you guys that I'm alive. I was super duper happy that everybody liked the previous video, and I wanted to make another one just to kind of answer everybody's questions. But there you have it. I guess now all that's left to say is if you have any more questions, probably the best way you can contact me or reach me is in my Twitter. And I'll put a link to my Twitter in the description, but also I think I'll put like a little disclaimer right here. I'll write, you know, my Twitter and you can go to it. So if you have any more questions, go to my Twitter or just leave a comment. It takes me a little bit of time to read the comments because I don't really log into my YouTube every single day, but I do respond to pretty much every single comment that I get. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, leave a like, and if you have any more questions, I don't know, send me a tweet. I'll hook you up, you know. Use code BladeStormz at Amazing Super Gadgets Vita Deluxe.net. Use code BladeStormz. Tell them Saber sent you. Well, let's do this. How do I grab? Oh yeah, there we go.